Okay, so let's look into meta programs now. Let's start with the proactive and reactive that I briefly went through verbally in the class. So, proactive people initiate changes, shape the future. These people are who take action to prevent problems or fires from starting. Proactive people prepare. Reactive people are the people who respond to situations or changes in the environment. These people are, generally firefighters. They fight the fire as it has started. Reactive people act on emergencies. That's why you find a lot of reactive people within the emergency services, within the police force and what have you, because they are reactive people. That's their natural tendency. Okay. Now, internally referenced people and externally referenced people. Now, internally referenced people have their criteria for making judgments within themselves. They're able to stay motivated even when the chips are down, but may ignore good advice from others because they're internally referenced. Now, externally referenced people rely on feedback to make decisions and function effectively. They're good team players, but can be indecisive and unmotivated when there is little feedback. So try that one, those who are externally motivated. Let's try sameness and difference. Now, the sameness people are motivated by stability. They are uncomfortable with changes and want things to stay the same. Now, people with difference love different places. People love experiences and doing different things. They become bored and restless when things are repetitive. They have a high capacity for change. Now you can imagine these two polar opposite personalities will definitely not get along, but if they are aware of each other's preferences, then they are happy to make adjustments. These sameness and difference people are also known in the NLP world as matching and mismatching. Okay, so when someone within NLP states matching and mismatching, that's what they're referring to, the sameness and difference. Okay, and also I just wanted to quickly point out the fact that people with difference also like the idea of a conversational difference as well. So when you have a conversation with someone with a difference or mismatching personality, you have to say the opposite to them and they will agree with you. I.e., if you say, I'm going to, for example, on the spot, if you'd say in a meeting, you'd say, well, I think because of this, these are the predictable terms, that's why, I think this is the good conclusion to go for. And there would be probably the ones who are disagreeing with you, saying, yes, but what if this, and that happens? So the idea with the mismatching people, and forgive me if I've took you off track, but basically the idea is to basically give them the opposite option to what you would normally give if you're a sameness person. So for example, don't give them the predictive route, give them the unpredictive route, and then they will come to the predictive route. Okay, it's quite an interesting one because it's almost like a game you have to play sometimes with them if you're the polar opposite. Okay, so let's look at we could discuss this in class, that's not a problem. I'm happy to go into detail. Let's look at the global and specific. Now, global preference focus, they focus on the big picture, the end result, while those with specific perspective are more concerned with the details, especially with the first step on how you're going to do it. Within any industry or within any type of business, you would require a global personality and a specific personality. And they're also known as chunking and sized people in the NLP world. So if someone goes on to a chunking preference focus, then you know that they're a global people. Someone goes to size preference focus, then you know that they're specific. Okay. Let's go on to options and procedures now. Options people want choices. They like to explore what is possible. They love to initiate new ventures, but often don't follow through due to lack of focus. They can also be indecisive and prone to procrastination. That's why those of you with options will be very familiar with procrastination and often, go through these types of frustrating parts throughout life. But it's something that's always beaten quite often. So be mindful of that. You can procrastinate, but then you can become, if you're in the right company, then you can overcome it. Procedures people who prefer following instructions and accepted the way of doing things. They may be bureaucratic and inflexible, but they are the ones who do follow through. Okay. Now, listening styles and speaking styles. Quickly, the last two. Literal listeners take things that they hear at face value. They don't read anything into it. They just take the words very literally. And inferential speakers will try to work out what they think and meant by what was said. They look at the tonality, they look at everything else. They put their own interpretation on it and often assume it implies some action needs to be taken by them. Having said that, inferential listeners are actually quite spot on. They're very perceptive. They are very service orientated. So if the boss's PA is an inferential listener, he or she would basically take steps to look at what's going to happen in the future, what the boss's intention is, and then they'll carry out exactly that. And that's quite a very good example of an inferential listener. Now, speaking style, a literal speaker will say exactly what they mean, whereas an inferential speaker will weave around a topic, hoping that you can guess or work out what they think. And it's often a sensitive personality who is an inferential speaker. They will be very sensitive to the other person's reaction and thoughts to what they're trying to refer to when they're speaking. Okay.